Hmm. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Good morning, good evening, whatever the time is from where you are joining from. Welcome to the November edition of the First Thursdays, proudly brought to you by Africa Food Changemakers. Welcome, everyone. My name is Anne Obize. I'm Communications Officer at Africa Food Changemakers, and it is my delight to be your moderator for today's amazing session of the First Thursday. How many of you are excited to be here? All right, so today's the First Thursday is a virtual event by Africa Food Changemakers, and this program happens once the first Thursday of every month, and it provides a platform for our members and other entrepreneurs in the agricultural and food landscape to gain new insights, to connect, to network, to find new suppliers, to share experiences, to receive updates on opportunities in the sector, and a lot more. So it is that opportunity that Africa Food Changemakers has created to connect with our members, to ensure that their capacity is developed so that they can continue being resilient entrepreneurs who nourish Africa and change global narrative. So I want to officially welcome you to the November edition of the First Thursday. And in this month of November, we're looking at something so critical yet important that can accelerate your agribusiness to the next level if you utilize it effectively. And today we will be looking at crafting an effective digital marketing strategy for your agribusiness. So this is that time where you need to reach out to every member of AFC or any other person who operates in the agricultural value chain. Just tell them you need to be here. Share this link with them. Once they sign up, it leads them direct to Zoom. Don't be stingy with this knowledge. So right now, share on your WhatsApp status, share on Instagram, everywhere, and tell your friends who are in the agricultural value chain. Tell them to get on board because AFC has a lot in store for them. Okay, so I'm just going to run you through what to expect today. Like we do it, we're going to have introduction. So right now, I want you in the comment section, start introducing yourself. Let me know your name, what country you're joining from, and your agribusiness. After that, we would be exposing to you some of the exciting opportunities you need to get hold of and not miss out on. And then we're going to introduce the speaker who would come straight in to share with you what they know how to do best. And today we have two amazing, exceptional, experienced speakers with a track record of impact that will be coming to share their experience with us. And then we'll let you know how you can connect with AFC, and then we are going to close. All right, so that's what we have for you today. So, but I need you to introduce yourself. So I'll be going straight to the chat box. Those of you who are introducing yourself, rep your country, rep your agribusiness. Like I said initially, the First Thursday creates that platform for members of Africa Food Changemakers to network, to connect, to share opportunities. You get to meet each other. We are a membership-driven organization, and we know that together as entrepreneurs, we can make change happen. Rather than working in silos, we are networking, we are connecting, we are that community of change makers who are committed to changing global narrative. So who do we have here? All right, I see Stephen. Stephen is from Uganda. Stephen, how are you doing? I think in Uganda you say Wasozotia. I think Wasozotia is how are you doing, or is that good morning? Kindly correct me. I would like to know how you say good afternoon, but I know a friend of mine taught me saying Wasozotia, and I usually say Wasozotia Sebo. So I don't know if that's correct, but let me know. So Stephen is repping Nile Organic Enterprises from Uganda. Barbara, oh, that's our speaker. She says, hello, everyone. Happy to be with you today. We're excited to be with you and to have you with us today. Okay, who else do we have here? Fatima. Fatima is joining from Tanzania. Yeah, I love Tanzania. And my colleague would always say, how do you say thank you again? I said, Asante Sana. That's something I learned from Tanzania, and it's so beautiful. So Fatima, it's so great to have you here. How are you doing? Asana Toluba is joining from Cameroon. Asana is joining from Cameroon, and he's from Enterprises Counselor. he's the enterprise counselor at the Small and Medium-Sized Enterprise Promotion Agency. I see a lot of messages coming in. Esther Adasa is joining from Kenya. I have people from other countries repping. Where are my Nigerians? But it's so beautiful to see people from several places. Esther Karibu, how are you doing? Esther is joining from Kenya, and I know you guys say Karibu. I hope I'm correct. Okay, Asana. Okay, Asana, I see you. Ella is joining from Abuja in Nigeria, and she's from Pleroma Farms and Agribusiness Limited. Chibikem is from Nigeria, Good Life Agro City Venture. BBK is repping Farmford from Nigeria. I see you, BBK. Bernard says, okay, Bernard is taking notes for someone. Well done, Bernard. Fatima says, hello, I am Fatima from Tanzania, Naturab Kilimanjaro Limited. All right, thank you. All right, let's keep the introduction coming. I see Tanzania, Hajia is from Tanzania. Hajia Karibu. All right, let's keep the introduction coming. I may not be able to say your name right now, but trust me, I am that person who always engage with every person in the comment section. So keep the chat coming. I see Marceline. Marceline is joining from the Republic of Congo. I'm excited to see my friends and everyone from different parts of Africa. Isaac is from Nigeria. I see you. Alice, I see you from Kaduna, Nigeria. Ibrahim Adamo from Nigeria. Oh my God, let's keep it coming. I see another person from Tanzania. That's HK. Okay, that's Hajia. Okay, I see you from Tanzania. Angelo Fadairo is joining from Sakawa. Okay, from Nigeria. Okay. All right, a lot of names I'm mixing up, but please let's keep the introduction going on. The introduction is not just for me. I want you to also check out every other person introducing yourself, because all of you right here are change makers. You are all change makers, and Africa for Change Makers gives us that platform for change makers to connect with each other. All right, so let me know, how are you feeling right now? With your favorite emoji, can you describe how you are feeling? Put in your favorite emoji that currently describes how you're feeling. If you're excited, give me that smiling emoji. If you're tired, just give me that tired look. And if you're feeling like you're dancing, come on, put in that emoji in the chat box. Okay, so briefly, I want to let you know that this program, the first Thursday, is proudly brought to you by Africa Food Change Makers. And Africa Food Change Makers, we know that small and medium-sized enterprises are the lifeblood of the ecosystem. And the small and medium enterprises are driven by visionary, dynamic, innovative entrepreneurs. They operate as primary producers, they operate as chefs, they operate as finance and technology provider, they operate as cook, they operate as innovators, and we call them change makers. So if you know that you are a change maker, or you are operating across any of this value chain, whether as a chef, whether as a primary producer, whether as a processor, I want to let you know that you are a change maker, and I want you to type in the comment section and say, I am a change maker and I'm excited to be here. All right, so we know that entrepreneurs are faced with several challenges, from climate change to global and local market risk, and they need funding, they need that community of support to successfully scale their businesses. And what we do through the Africa Food Change Makers Hub, AFC Hub, is that we enable African entrepreneurs to start and scale resilient and sustainable agribusinesses that nourish Africa and the world. And part of the ways we do it is developing the capacity of our entrepreneurs. So we're always looking for ways, how do we help our entrepreneurs develop their capacity to build resilient businesses? And that's why we have programs like First Thursdays that happen every month, where we bring experts to come share their knowledge that would also benefit our entrepreneurs. We also have programs like the Scaling Export Program that is currently ongoing. We have programs such as the Building Resilience Against Climate and Environmental Shock. We also have programs like LAF, Leading Africa Women in Food Fellowship, and we'll have a lot more still coming. We're constantly thinking of how do we fill in the gaps? How do we build the capacity of our entrepreneurs to build resilient agribusinesses that are nourishing Africa and the world? So that is our drive, and that is our commitment. All right. So I'm going to let you in on some of the amazing opportunities you need to know about. Some of these opportunities are going to be expiring soon, and that's one of the benefits of being a member of Africa for Changemakers, because we're constantly curating opportunities and we're sharing it to our members. If you're a member, you should have gotten some of these opportunities either Monday or Tuesday, because we have weekly newsletters that go out to our members for them to take advantage of these opportunities. So part of the opportunities you need to know about is the 4th quarter seed grant for small grassroots organizations and NGO. This is open to all countries, and it is a rolling grant. Okay, we also have the Brave Woman Nigeria. This is open to women in Nigeria. It's a grant and it's also rolling. So that means you can hop on it, go to the website and apply. You can visit afc.org, afchub.org, our website, to get. Somebody's writing on my screen, Esther Adasa. Please, can you stop writing on my screen? Thank you. All right. So we also have another opportunity, a financial opportunity called the Food Planet Prize. It is a grant and it is open to all countries. What other opportunity do we have? We also have opportunity for capacity building. An agro recycle club in Nigeria has a free training. It's a training, and the deadline for application is 8th of November. If I were you, if I'm interested, I'm just going to go apply for this as soon as possible before the deadline comes up. We also have water and energy for good. It is on a rolling basis, so you can head onto our website to get more details about this. We have the Youth of Enterprise. It is open to all countries and it is on a rolling basis. So make sure you take advantage of these opportunities. We also have events. We have the Nigeria and West Africa Trade Expo happening from the 7th to 8th of November in Nigeria. My Niger people, you know how we do it. It is open to Nigerians. We have the Kenya Agri Hack that is happening from the 8th to 9th of November at Kenya, and it's a conference. My Kenya people, do not sleep on this. We have a virtual webinar called the Financial Sustainable Agriculture at Scale. It's happening on the 8th of November. And I guess it's open to everyone since there's no country restriction. So if you're interested in that, please go ahead, check out afchub.org, and you'll see access to these opportunities. We have the training and workshop. We have the agribusiness value chain and food distribution. It is hosted by Donax Agribusiness. We also have this one called Introduction to Business Management. We also have entrepreneurship, creating the business. These are amazing opportunities that you need to take advantage of to develop your capacity. So let me know, which of those opportunities have you applied for or will you be applying for? I want to know. I want to hear you in the chat box. Which of these opportunities have you applied for, and which of them will you? Okay, I see a lot of persons saying they're excited to be here. Let me just go back a bit. I see the smiles from everyone showing me their emojis representing how they are feeling this afternoon. And I can see Adana Uche from Lagos. I see Barbara and every other person saying, I am a change maker. That's beautiful. I'm always excited when I come to the chat box and I get the feedback. It shows me that you are following. I am putting my hands together for you, and I want you to keep it up. Don't ever be silent on us. All right? Okay, so which of these opportunities will you take advantage of? Somebody says, oh, Ibrahim, are you sure you're going to apply for all of this? All right, so we have our podcast. Our podcast is one of the ways we're changing global narrative. And we have episodes on chocolate, on okra, on teff, and a lot more. When you head to our website, you find more. And we also have some other podcast episodes that will be coming up soon. So be on the lookout for our podcast and a lot more. Okay, so this is the time where we go straight to the reason why we're here. We don't want to do a lot of talk because today's topic is so important, and I am sure our facilitators need a lot of time to engage with you and to share from their wealth of experience. And what I want you to do for me is that you have to cooperate, no unmuting yourself, just get your notepad, get your pen, and get ready to learn. And at the end of the presentation from both speakers, we would give you the opportunity to ask your questions, and every of your question will be answered. So we have two facilitators. I just want to be sure the first speaker is here before I read out the profile. Team members, please give me a heads up and let me know. Let me know. I know the one of the speakers is already here, but I need to know.
I'm here. I'm here.
Okay. Okay. All right. Just give me a second. Okay, I see every other person joining. I see you all from Kenya. All right. Don't worry, I'm still here. I just needed to clarify something. So how many of us here are ready? If you are ready to learn how to craft an effective digital marketing strategy for your agribusiness, I want to feel the energy in the comment section. I want you to say, I am ready. All right, so I'm going to read out the profile of our first speaker. Our first speaker is Nwando Ajene. She has over 20 years of corporate and consulting experience in leading marketing, communication, strategy, project, and partnership in the nonprofit and NGO, CPG, and finance space. As a marketing communication executive with board-level leadership experience, she has shared her expertise with both internal team and high-profile clients and has a consistent track record of delivering high-impact results. Nwando's impressive background showcases extensive experience in driving social initiative aligned with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. She currently oversees 1.4K social enterprises, donor network, and allied communities globally at the Catalyst 2030, with previous leadership role at Nestle Nigeria that resulted in remarkable growth in marketing and brand performance. Committed to mentoring young entrepreneurs and marketers, Nwando's dedication to corporate responsibility and United Nations Sustainability Development Goals, focusing on nutrition, youth, and women empowerment is evident. She has empowered 50 women in northern Nigeria through an influencer program and holds a graduate degree in integrated marketing communication from the University of Chicago. Additionally, she is a vice president of the Advertising Association of Nigeria and a fellow at the Nigerian Marketing Institution. In service to her community, she founded the Career Talk Nigeria platform to engage teenagers on career aspiration by matching their collective interest to successful young talent in similar career. She serves as a board member at Lagos Food Bank Nigeria, leading program design and development for multi-dimensional feeding project. Ladies and gentlemen, with a resounding virtual clap in the chat box, let's make welcome our first speaker for today, Nwando Okonkwo Ajene. I can see your everybody. Hand. All right. Okay. So, Nwando, you have the virtual podium, and I can see everyone is excited to have you and with their claps in the comment box.
Great. So happy to be here and so excited to be sharing. I hope everybody can hear me and see my screen. So yes, my mandate is very clear. I love brand. I am a brand communicator. So I'm going to share with you some tips and tricks and ways to really think about your agribusiness as a big brand and look a little bit into the future and give you some case studies about, a lot has been said about my background and who I am, but most importantly, I'm here to solve problems because we're all here in the space in Africa to make a difference. So the topic today is really being a creative leader and really thinking about creative solutions on how to manage your business. So I'm going to start a little bit quick, which is for you to think about how people will see your brand, which is either a gut feeling about a product or service. And then I'll show you images. If you see some of these images on the street, they're where they're supposed to be. Some are in stores, some are locked up in boxes, some they're shops. Once you see some logos, if we had more time, we'd play a game. And some are by taste that you can recognize. And there are people that are also brands and live amongst us. So as you define your products and where you place them, please think about giving them a life, giving them a heartbeat, and giving them how people can recognize, feel, and remember them more consistently. So I want to tell you a secret of what does work. And the biggest thing that you have to do in your brand or in your business is the golden circle rule. And this is why you do what you do. That's the purpose of what you're doing. And everybody can buy into this once you start with the why. A lot of people often start with what you do. They tell you immediately, I'm making cashew nuts, I have rice, but they didn't come back to the why. Once you start with the why, your marketing and challenge and your platforms become the easiest platform. So always start with why you do what you do before you get to how you do what you want to do, and then get to the what. Never do the reverse. Always start at the center, because it's where the emotion, it's where the purpose, and it's why you get to the hearts and minds of consumers. The first trick, I have three very simply, is be clear. We are in a country and a continent that is filled with many opportunities. So you have to be simple. You have to be clear. This is because there's so many barriers to working, and don't make it complicated. I know some of you like to be multi-potentialites and multi-entrepreneurs and serial entrepreneurs, but please, the first lesson that I would like to tell you is be clear. Make it simple. And if you leave with anything in this message, even your captions, your copy, make it clear. The second thing is be locally relevant. Gone are the days where we're trying to be somebody else or something else. Use what you have to get where you are. And I can show you a live example of a brand that I worked on, which is just to show you an example. I don't know if you can see my screen. Let me stop and share again.
Yes, we can. Okay, I think we can see it now.
Just to give you an example of how you can make your surroundings, your environment relevant.
So Merry, Merry, Merry Christmas and a happy, happy New Year. God will make you better, make your chicken bigger. Merry, Merry, Merry Christmas. Jollof, oh jollof, everything that's set to you, so no worry your style. God will make you better, make your chicken bigger.
So this is just to show you an example of how you can make things simple, how you can make things relevant, and that you don't have to go so far to make your communications, your ideas to match what is currently locally relevant at your bedside. The third thing is that you must brand. And why? Because you must differentiate yourself. What makes you different is your brand. It provides a set of discipline and it delivers rewards. So it keeps you, your color, your logo, your shape, and how you want your standards to be. And it provides that guidance, and it also gives you rewards. And then whatever you do, have a target in mind. I know that things are hard and we're in the very early phases, but keep your targets as your focus and in your mind. So when we start off, I want to now get into real life case studies of how we can bring this to life. The first thing is that whether it's Instagram, whether it's emails, we have to start thinking of our products, our promises as how they will solve solutions in the agribusiness and how they will thrive and differentiate and how we will conquer and communicate. So we have to understand our audience, especially a digital audience, which is why we're here today. There are two groups of people that you encounter on digital channels. There are people who are producers, who have raw materials, who want to engage on digital. And there are also people who are sourcing locally, chefs that are craving. So we have to look at ourselves. Where are we within the groups and how can we be effective to build more conversation, more conversion, and more engagement within the target market? You must understand who you're selling to, your consumer, before you get into how you tell stories and the power of storytelling. I just realized my bar might be closing this. So here. So the first thing is that we're in Africa. What we do is tell stories. We inspire emotions. We love engagement. I know how many of you love entertainment, channels, stories, radio, music, and that is the same for agribusiness. We must inspire emotion. We must start with the farm to fork story. We must inspire who makes this product, how is it made? Then we have to engage the audience, especially because you want to stand out. You're up against a lot of clutter on digital. Right now, you have people going for music videos, for fashion. And so on the audience, you need to tell a hook. You have to have a way to engage a hook. You must have a platform to educate and inform. And always, and this is my biggest ask, stand out with visual, stimulating images. How many of you have seen food online and you've said, wow, this is so delicious, I feel like ordering it? How many of you have placed an order? So pay attention to the visual, because in this society and this time of our lives, people are extremely dedicated to visual, engaging, captivating, and that's what they have as a hook to pull them ahead. If I go to the next slide, we want to look at the channels. I know some of you are very familiar with it, but I would always recommend a multi-channel digital approach. You want to have a one-stop shop where people can find you. We need a track record of success online, whether it's a blog, whether it's a Facebook page, whether it's a website, where if any funder, if any campaign, if any training wants to check you, they have some source to find out where you are, which is websites, a social media, a mobile app, which is down the line when you've developed, and then an email marketing newsletter. So really consider these platforms as touch points for people to be able to reach you, to find out more information, and for you to keep yourself guided and in a sort of a channel that you can keep churning out information. This is very, very critical. When it comes to marketing for African businesses, media is a game changer. I don't know how many of you know about buying media, especially when it comes to customizing the target audience, the right words, the right approach to it. So there's a strategy, and it's a creative strategy to buying, which is, if you look at the image on the right, it's Facebook versus Google. Google gives you results as you type. Search-wise, if I type Maggie, for instance, I know what comes up first, which region, and what will come up after. But for Facebook, you want to be engaging. You want people to hear, to know about it. And then you have to decide which campaign is better for you at the stage you're in. What are you trying to get? Are you trying to get more people to follow you? Are you trying to get people to see a video that you've created? Or are you trying to get sales? Are you trying to get a search ad? The options are limitless, and you can start to test and learn as you go along. I wanted to have a few case studies, but I don't know how much time we have because we have another speaker coming up. But please look up these organizations who have done quite a little bit of job and have quite a bit of following. If you look at their images, if you look at their targeting paid ads, if you look at even their creativity, when suddenly realize you can now have a farm in your pocket and it's a funny meme, it's a funny emoji, people will look interested. Thank God I am farm. And then they put somebody and they put the age and they put the year. These are how you have ownership. This is an organization that thrives on modern place and trying to get crowdfunding. So it's interesting to look at it. Here's another case study of Real Fruits. This is an organization that does fruits And I think their winning strategy is actually in product distribution. You find them in supermarkets, in pharmacies, across Nigeria. And so this made their availability first before they started promoting. They do a lot of user-generated content. They show their imagery of their pictures of their products across, and it's very nicely done. And they also showcase their vision and their owner. And this helps drive strategy, makes it believable, makes it compelling across touch points. And this is something, they even put price in the other one if you can look at it. And they're also seasonal, meaning during Valentine's, they are apt. And, best practice is to have 2 posts per week for Facebook, for any company, no matter even if you're a Fortune 500 or not. So don't be under pressure to try to be too active, but be simple, be locally relevant, and also brand or die. So this was the same content that I shared before. So in today's age, if I didn't leave you with anything, I want you to be left with the fact that you have to engage, you have to plant a seed to see how you can activate. And this is something that I want to leave you with. So I have one more video, and then I will stop for questions. Let me get my share screen.
Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes, the ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules, and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them, but the only thing you can't do is ignore them. Because they change things. They push the human race forward. And while some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius. Because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do.
I hope that hit you a spot as you're on your journey of entrepreneurship and social innovation and creation, that you know that you can make a difference. So any questions?
Okay, so Nwando, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, can we appreciate Nwando in the chat box? We're going to take questions after the second speaker so that we can maximize time. But before we let you go, I just want feedback. Can we remember what is your key takeaway? For me is be simple, remain locally relevant, brand or die. That is my key takeaway. What is yours? Let me see them in the chat box, and let's also appreciate Nwando for that amazing, interesting, captivating presentation. I was glued in from the beginning to end. I felt like, come on, can she go on? Well, thank you so much, Nwando, and also for helping us manage time. Okay. I want to see your chat, everyone. Just don't, before I invite the next speaker, I want to see your chat. I want to see your comment. And I'm sure Nwando also wants to see the feedback. So I'm going to go straight to invite our second speaker, which I know she is already here. I think I saw her. Our first speaker is Barbra Muzata. She is a brand strategist and a narrative shaper who propels companies across all sectors to accelerated growth. A strategic communication and brand marketing advisor, she coaches executives and partners with brands, including startups tackling meaningful opportunities and challenges to launch and scale their reach in diverse African markets and the continent. Her passion lies in harnessing the power of storytelling and communication to drive positive change, particularly for youth and women. She actively engages with various sectors to develop strategies and tools that empower brands to connect with their markets and stakeholders. In recognition of her unwavering dedication, transformative effort, and inspiring impact on the agricultural realm. Barbara was recently honored with the 2023 Manzes Changemaker Award from Food for Manzes in collaboration with Kagiso Trust, KT. Her commitment to enacting positive changes serves as a beacon, motivating us all to recognize Africa's remarkable potential for meaningful transformation. Her achievement includes launching a multinational agriculture brand in Africa and the Middle East and leading the Soil Sisters program to empower women in agriculture. She excels in solving business challenges and creating meaningful connections that drive progress. She also serves as a judge in the African Agribusiness competition and is a Henley Business School graduate. Ladies and gentlemen, with a resounding clap in the chat box, can we make welcome our facilitator for today, Barbra Muzata. Barbara, you have the virtual stage, please.
Hello, everybody. I loved the first presentation, and yeah, my takeaway, it's okay to be a misfit. It's okay to actually believe in what you want to do. Sometimes you need to run with it even when somebody else doesn't see it, right? And with that, I'm going to start sharing. What I'm sharing today with you, team, is basically a journey of what I do. Whatever I'm going to share is exactly what I do, how I approach marketing online, or even bringing brands to life. So I will share some examples as well of what I've done. And hopefully in another day, we'll be able to come back with my fellow speaker and we can probably do a workshop, and I don't know, time permitting, where we can bring some of these recommendations to life. So I'll share my screen now. Can you all see my screen? Hello?
Yeah, we can. Thank you.
Perfect. I think the previous speaker was well aligned when she said that you need to start with purpose, right? And when you believe and are aligned with your true purpose, everybody becomes a believer too. And what I mean by that is you need to have the passion for what you do. I've seen companies or brands who actually come out there, social media, and somebody says, I'm excited. And we all are looking at you and thinking, really, are you? Because there is no enthusiasm, there is no energy, even in what you're sharing. But when we see your passion for what you do, when we see your passion for your brand, we actually are compelled, we have no choice but to come along with you and enjoy the ride and follow your brand. So again, have that purpose, have that passion for what you do. I'm trying to see what's going on with my slides because it's not working for some reason. And everybody else will come along with you. And you will see on the slides, I've actually put the meaning of the name of the company. We work in Africa, and most of the work we do has really come out as a result of me going around launching agriculture brands in different countries in Africa and coming across young people, women who've been asking, can you help me set up? I'm thinking of, starting a business. How do I put my brand out there? How do I market myself? And I always ask questions around who you're targeting, who is your consumer. Are you able to find a gap or a niche in that market that will give you valuable insights, and what your customers need that will actually allow you to tailor your marketing efforts accordingly? You knowing who you are talking to, who your customers are, allows you to address their needs as well, and analyzing the competition, right? Because we all don't want to look the same. We all want to stand out, make sure our brands stand out. So you first need to understand your market, the country, understand the consumers you're talking to. What is it that they spend their time on? Are they on Facebook? Are they on Instagram? Are they on WhatsApp? And understand the numbers of the people on these platforms as well in the different countries. There are various reports that are available that you can tap into to really get an idea of what the land, the country demographics figures where your customers spend their time in. And there is no way you're going to be successful without an online presence. It may be difficult to build a website as you start, but we've got platforms that have been shared already, like your social media platforms, that will help you to actually get your brand out there. Start with what you have. I'll tell you a story about starting with what you have. I set up a page on Facebook once, and I put an advert on there and decided I was going to offer some branding sessions to women in business, startups in South Africa. And within a few hours, I had 50 women signing up. But I'll tell you something else that people didn't know. I didn't have a venue. I didn't have anything planned. I had just put an idea out there because I felt so compelled to offer this service, right? Because this is what I do for a living. And the next minute I had, it's amazing what happens when you put yourself out there and start with what you have. People came, offered venues, companies started sponsoring all sorts of other, requirements that I had. But because I went to them and demonstrated that there was a clientele that was willing to pay and come through for a service. So make sure you get your business online. If you can't afford to do a website immediately, find a way of making yourself available online. Because many a times when I hear of a brand, the first thing I do is I go and I Google to find it, right? So make sure you have that presence online. This is an example of the website I eventually built for the business, just to make sure that people could at least, or my customers could find us online. I'll share these slides and I'll put the links to the websites on the slides. So eventually, when you have started, make sure that you are findable online and make sure that you brand yourself. I mean, the first time I saw this page, I wanted to do business with myself, right? I was so in love with it. When you are in that space as well, as the owner of a brand, remember that whatever you come up with, whatever project you put your head to, needs to look exactly the way you would want your service provider to look like. So this is an example of, as I said, I'll share stuff that I'm doing, I've done. This is what the website looks like. We are still developing it. Yes, it's still work in progress, but when you get there, at least you've got the information that you need. Make sure that you also are findable online. This is through the use of search engine optimization, right? Make sure that your website actually can, when somebody Googles, can be found. I think many of us know exactly what happens when you Google a name, a brand. Again, I told you I'm going to share examples of Barbara, because sometimes I don't want to give people advice that I am not following myself from a online branding perspective as well. So the question I have for you is your brand, or are you Googleable? That's a terminology that we've come up with over the time. Even in corporate, when you apply for a job, we actually used to go and type in people's names. And if you are in marketing, for instance, if you are in communications, and we can't find you online on social media, then we start asking ourselves, is this person actually serious, a serious marketer? Is this business actually serious? And sometimes, unfortunately, despite the best product that you may have, because we can't find you online, we move on to the next business that we can find, because we want information at our fingertips, right? And we want convenience. We want to be able to find you. It's been proven that 76% of customers actually search for a company online before they visit the physical location. So make sure that your business is findable. All this team, fellow entrepreneurs, have achieved by just posting on LinkedIn, on Facebook. Most of it is just organic growth. Some of it posted, of course, by companies and various other service providers I've worked with. But the question again is, are you Googleable? As you build your presence online, make sure that you are Googleable, right? I've shared this already. Why is it important? It's important that you make your name, address, and phone numbers. People need to be able to find you. If I can't find you, I'll move on to the next company that's available. So we always aim to make sure we're at the top or in the second page of Google when people search for us, right? There are other Google services like Google My Business listing, where you can actually update information and make sure that people actually find you. Also, the other way of boosting your Googleability or searchability is making sure that people put reviews, feedback about your service whenever you work with them. That improves chances of you being found online. These are just some of the statistics that I thought you would find interesting. Again, and we'll share this presentation, and the entrepreneurs can just go through this and use it at their research at their own time, right? And one of the things, as we saw in the previous advert, that you need to make sure of is to create compelling content. Make sure that whatever you create makes people stop and want to actually listen to. If it's a video, blog posts work as well, in establishing you as a thought leader in your space. And make sure the visuals that you post out there are compelling. I always say to the teams that I work with, the first thing I start with is to make sure your picture, for instance, even on social media, looks very appealing. Sometimes people take it for granted that, if I send a request for somebody to connect with me, it doesn't matter what my picture looks like. It matters a great deal. I do not accept LinkedIn requests where there is no picture. Sometimes we forget to upload our pictures, but it's all about branding yourself. You are a brand, you've heard that, right? Create content that addresses the pain points of your target audiences, right? And create content that educates customers and makes them want to come back to see more and hear from you. And of course, please make sure that you always engage. When they ask you questions, get back to them and respond to their questions. Social media is powerful in that it can help you to promote your brand, connect with your audience, and also engage to tell your story and build loyal followings. So depending on which country you are in, which is the most popular social media platform, it can be Instagram, it can be Facebook. Some countries, it's definitely WhatsApp. How can you actually use those platforms to make yourself or your brand visible online? Don't underestimate the power of email marketing, because once you've harvested a loyal following and they've subscribed to your content, then you start building specific messaging that goes to your clientele, to your audiences. And again, influencer marketing. When I get to events or activities, I don't normally have budget to pay for influencers. But if there is an influencer I meet and we talk at an event, I do a lot of instant video recordings. It's not always comfortable, I'm gonna tell you, but it works very well. Again, I'm trying to share my screen to see if I can bring a video up that, based on my most recent event, which was in the Philippines, where we basically were having these impromptu videos. Again, I can put it on the slides and the team can go and look at some of the videos that have been developed. As I said again, everything I'm sharing, it's stuff that I am doing myself and it has worked. It works for my clients as well. And yeah, track and analyze everything you do, make sure that you measure and you see what works, because at the end of the day, how are you going to go back and review your strategy or come up with a better strategy if you don't track and review what you've done? Reviewing makes sure you actually have that insight you need for the next campaign, the next year. One thing that I would like to leave you with is that digital is constantly evolving. So you need to be agile. You need to change things sometimes on the go. And so you need to have a team as well, if you're working together with many other people, that is continuously alert to see what's happening, what opportunity can you take advantage of to put your brand out there. Also follow the trends, what's going on, what are the customer preferences, what are the questions they are asking. Sometimes people just need somebody or a brand that's going to fill in that gap and give the information that they need. Understand your market, collaborate with experts, and please commit to continuous learning and adaptation. Thank you very much for listening. And I end with the slide. And I'm saying to you, let's talk, and I think it's time for Q&As. So as part of my slides team, I've got also some data that talks to the various user numbers in terms of how many people are online globally on the internet. I think Nigeria and I can't remember which other country, Egypt in Africa, are actually among the top 15 globally in terms of users online and so forth. As I share these slides with Anne, I'll leave those slides in there for you to just take a look and see. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions. And yeah, I'm using my posts as case studies. I've put it on LinkedIn for you to just go and see. And feel free to copy. I copy anything and everything that works.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, can we appreciate and celebrate Barbara in the comment section? Can we do that? What is your key takeaways? And can we just send that thank you message to Barbara and say, this is what stood out for me from your presentation, and thank you so much. It has been an amazing time learning from Nwando and Barbara. It's been insightful. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for sharing from your wealth of experience and putting us through. And we're grateful to have both of you. So right now I want to see the key takeaways. I think so many messages dropped in before Barbara. So I'm just going to go back a bit. Let me scroll up a bit and see. From Nwando's session, a lot of persons are saying, no pressure. That is Femi says 2 posts per week works. Fatima says be simple. Okay. What else? Someone says, okay, brand or die. Nancy says be simple, be clear. Esther says brand or die. Sunday says branding and being consistent. Ismail says be clear, be locally relevant, brand or die, sell with target. All right. Okay. Thank you so much. Everyone, thank you. I see the comment. I want to see the feedback, everyone. I want to see that. So if you have questions, now is the time where you drop in your questions in the chat box or you put your hands up, and we'll give you the opportunity to ask your questions. Okay, Lydia says, Thank you so much, ma'am. Today, I am motivated to start trying to be visible online. And there's a question that Barbara asked that I think everyone should take home with. She says, are you Googleable? If we search the name of your business, what can we find online? So ask your neighbor and say, or no, ask yourself, because you're not seeing your neighbor. I wish it was a physical event. I would say, turn to your neighbor and say, are you Googleable? But ask yourself in the chat box and say, am I Googleable? Are you sure anyone can find anything about me? If you are Googleable, say, yes, I am. If you're not, say, oh, I'm going to work on it. It's part of why we're learning. So your key takeaways would be, after the session, I'm going to go and fix my digital footprint. Okay. Mamelo says, thank you so much for the presentation. Having an online presence is important. Femi says, don't be afraid to try. Okay. So questions, everyone. Do we have questions, or is it well understood? I see everyone saying, are you Googleable? All right. Peculiar says, I am going to work on being Googleable. Well done. That is part of the reason why we learn. If you learn, you go to take action. Ella says, I am Googleable to an extent. All right. So Ahmed says, the question is to Barbara, can ranking and SEO be done individually?
Can it be done individually?
Yeah.
Okay. Who asked the question? Can I have more context, please?
Okay, that question is from Ahmed Sekoni.
So Ahmed, what I can say about search engine optimization is that it's a journey, right? It all starts with you building an online presence first. And then from there, you start finding or including the keywords that are necessary or needed for you to be findable. For instance, I spoke of Google business listing, right? Make sure you start local, you get to Google business listings, you put your details in there, and whatever business you're doing, if you are into cashew nuts or grapes, for instance, instead of saying Ahmed, the grapes or cashew nut supplier, you start by saying Ahmed, the grapes or cashew nut supplier in Lagos. And then you start building that tree and spreading and sharing those keywords that eventually it becomes something much, much bigger. You want to get to a point where when I search cashew nuts or grapes, your name is the first. So it's various steps that you need to take. Online presence of some sort, right? Okay. And believe me, it might sound difficult, but sometimes it's as simple as you going and creating even a blog. There are some blogs where you are offered free blogs with limitations, of course, but start there, start building that profile. And as you build and add more, people like Anne and myself, when we find your stuff compelling, interesting, we start sharing with others. We start, spreading the word and making sure that you're visible. And Google as well, as time goes. I mean, I'll share, Tim, that I get from LinkedIn sometimes prompts to say you are one of the experts who's been selected to contribute to a conversation. And it's all because of my activity and, the work that I'm posting as I'm going along. When I get to a country, I'm in Nigeria this month, team, on the 20th. So when I get to Nigeria, and I'm going to take you and everybody, and I'll be making so much noise, Nigeria style, right?
Yeah.
No one is going to miss that. So we can actually have an offline conversation, and I can show you the steps that you can take towards that, if it's okay. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Barbara. I want everyone to know that Nwando is still on the call. So if you have questions, you can direct it to Nwando or Barbara. And then Nwando, if you also have a contribution to make to any of the questions, please feel free to unmute and add at that point. So I have another question that says, the question says, is it advisable to pay a Facebook to boost my posting? And then I also take the second one. So Mubarak says a quick question. I do think some of these digital marketing strategies may be expensive for very small business, especially owning a website. Do you think social media can be leveraged on to cover up for website? And then the other person says, is it advisable to pay Facebook to boost my posting? So I think Nwando can take
Sure. I can help. You
Yes,
can have a short-term strategy, which is to have a presence online, because I remember if you're looking for funding, if you're looking for, it depends on your objectives. So you should have short-term objectives to have a presence, to be aware so people can find you, and to have a track record online. That's very critical. And then you can have a long-term objective to just have a holding, like a one-stop shop. I just realized my video wasn't on. A one-stop shop where people you can put all your content, your annual reports, your operations, your team, your structure, which is critical in every agribusiness, at operational structure. We didn't talk about that, but you really need a backbone. So you could start with a blog. You could start with, one of those inexpensive. It's not really about the domain and how much it costs and the fancy. That's why I said keep it very simple and keep the basics, your mission, vision, what your product is, what your lifeline is, and how to reach you. Very important. So you can have as baseline, just look at it as an entry market way to sort of have a presence online so people can find you. If not, somebody else will find a better way to sell what you're having. And by the time you're catching up, there will be a first mover's advantage. So please always, especially domain names, see if you can put that as an investment to buy your name, because if I get it first and I do a better job, which is why I said you have to differentiate yourself, then somebody might, copy and steal and copy and paste. So I always looking at it as a defensive strategy to get something first. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much, Nwando. Okay, so I'm sure that answers. She says have an objective, and then you can pace it. Keep it simple. I think that's a strategy everyone should just adopt, especially if you're starting. Don't just keep it simple and do the basics, what needs to be done. Okay, someone is asking, is it advisable, to pay Facebook to boost my posting? And another is also asking, should one post the process as much as they post the finished product?
So if I can take that, I
Yes,
think people are looking for relevant stories, right? And we want to know where our food comes from. So you taking us on a journey of your business, and of course, as I say this, please make sure that the IP, the secrets are not revealed when you show us your work. We appreciate that, and we get to know you, your brand, and the business, where it's coming from, and all. So we want to see that. We don't want the scripted, type me a speech and go stand in front of the camera, let me read it. No. We are following human beings as brands online, right? And we want to know exactly where our food comes from. So the more you can share, of course, relevant and stuff that resonates with us, the better. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Barbara, for that. Alice Madaki, I see your hands up. Please go ahead and ask your question.
Hello, good evening to us all. Thank you so very much for the awesome sessions. The two sessions were very insightful. Thank you so much. We've done the theoretical side. I am pleading with that did the presentation today. If we can please try and do the practicals. Even is money in this program, or members of African Food Changemakers. For those of us that have digital presence, social media presence, to kindly go through what we have and kindly advise on how we can upgrade on what we have right now. Please, is that doable? African Food Changemakers, please.
Alice,
Can you talk?
I think I missed your question at some point. Can you take it again? There was a time the line was breaking up.
Breaking. Okay.
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, loud and clear, please.
Okay. I said, this evening we had a theoretical session with the two awesome ladies. I'm pleading, even if it's for a token, those of us that have online presence, for us to pay a token to them and then let them review what we have online, and then let them come up with please feedback, suggestions on how we can upgrade what we have already online. Honestly, it will go a long way in helping us, the small entrepreneurs. Food changers, please, can you talk to them? Please, on our behalf, please.
Oh, okay. I think this is well noted. I'm sure the membership team and all of us at AFC would see how to do a follow-up program on this, and then we would work towards this because
all right, thank you very much.
We'll take this into consideration. So thank you for asking, and I'm sure we would work on it. Okay, Ibrahim, you have you can ask your question. Ibrahim, please go ahead. I think we'll take that as the final question.
Hello. Good evening, my all good people. My name is Ibrahim Adamu Ali from Kano, Nigeria, from Empire Seed Production and Agro Ally Nigeria Limited.
Okay, Ibrahim, good to have you.
Madam, my question is, here in Kano, we have so many farm products like tomatoes and others, like now we are in the period of farm product. Please, ma, can you help us to get together with a small agropreneur to aggregate us for some, to gather ourselves for small business here in Kano, bring it from north to east. 1, 2, like us, we are producing farm products. So how are you going to help us to continue our organic farming, please? Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Ibrahim. I think the question should be directed to us at Africa Food Changemakers. And I don't think, but if our facilitators have anything to say, but I don't know, but I'm sure the team at AFC have taken note of this. Would respond to that. Okay, any final words from our speakers before we let you go? It has been an insightful session learning from you, and the feedback from the participants have been amazing. So I would have to go with to get the final words from Nwando, and then we'll have from Barbara, and we'll take a group picture before I let you go, please. Nwando, please, can we have your final words to our entrepreneurs this evening? Okay, Barbara, we can have you. I don't think we have Nwando now. But Barbara, let's have you, and let's see if Nwando is going to be back before we close up. Yeah.
So for me, well done, guys, for starting your businesses. It's never easy. It's for the brave, and when you are in there, anything is possible. And what will carry your brand through is your passion, and remember why you started it in the first place. And it's amazing the amount of help that comes your way once you've put your brand out there. And one of these platforms for that is simply where we are right now, Africa Food Change. What do you call it?
Africa Food Changemakers.
Food Changemakers, yes. So go online, look at the examples. I think the previous speaker also shared examples of some of the people who are doing it the best. Take a look. You'll be amazed how much you can learn from that as well. Help is always there. People have started this to help you out. Don't stop because you've hit a snag at any point in time. stop and ask for help instead, and then continue. That's all I can say. When I started, I didn't have much marketing budget. I signed up for free blogging sites and social media, LinkedIn, writing the articles and everything. And that's it. 2020 was when things started finally happening, where you now find yourself being able to create or pay for someone to actually build that, but already the name was out there. So put your brand company name out there, and yeah, well done. Thanks.
Okay, thank you so much. Start small, put your company and your brand name out there, and keep it simple, like Nwando said. I don't know if Nwando is back on the call for her final words before we close. Okay, but everyone, I want us to take a group photograph. You've seen my face, you've seen the face of Barbara, you've also seen the face of Nwando, and I'm sure they want to see your faces. So please, can you turn on your camera? Let's take a group family photograph. Just make sure you're smiling. Okay, I see Hajia, I see Janet, I see Munir, I see Chibi Kim, Alice, I see you. Ella. All right, team members, please let's quickly grab the screenshots, everyone. Make sure you're smiling and say cheese. Okay, you can also take screenshots, and I want you to share all over social media. This is part of what we're saying. Tell your story. So the first task is share on social media, talk about your learning experience, and tag us at Africa Food Changemakers. Also tag Barbra Muzata and then Nwando across on social media. If you check their names, you would find their names on social media. So tag them and tag Africa Food Changemakers. So it is our assignment. I would be checking out, because I'm going to drop a comment as a communications officer on all your posts that you tag AFC. So if you don't see Africa Food Changemakers comment, make sure you tag us. On Facebook, it is Africa Food Changemakers. On Instagram, Africa Food Changemakers. On LinkedIn, it is Africa Food Changemakers. On Twitter, it is the AFC_hub. Okay, so take screenshots, make sure you're smiling. Tag the speakers. It's Barbra Muzata across on social media, and also it is Nwando Okonkwo Ajene on social media. All right, thank you so much. If you're not a member of Africa Food Changemakers, you are missing out. My team members are dropping the link to become a member on the chat box on the comment section. Make sure you sign up to become a member. We have a lot of opportunities. We have a lot of advantages of being a member. And I want to also let you know that the recordings of this session will be made available to you after this session. Hopefully by tomorrow, we should get it to everyone. So thank you so much for joining. That's the link to become a member. As a member, you get opportunity to first Thursdays, not just the first Thursdays, you also get opportunities for visibility, to you connect with other people. You'd also get connected to global market linkages, and also how to become visible. We're always giving our opportunities to our members and so many other things. So hop on to become a member. It is free, it is simple. Click on the link in the chat box and take advantage of the opportunities we have on our website. Thank you so much for being a part of the November 1st Thursdays. We look forward to engaging with you for the December 1st Thursdays and every other program we have running at Africa Food Changemakers. Enjoy the rest of your evening and take action. If you're not Googleable, start taking that step. Your first assignment for today is, with your screenshot, share your learning and tag the speakers and tag Africa Food Changemakers. I look forward to seeing your key takeaways from this session. I also look forward to seeing all of you maximize the digital space to build a strong agri-food brand. Enjoy the rest of your evening. From all of us at Africa Food Changemakers, so all the team members who are responding on the chat box, I can't call everyone, but there are a lot of team members working behind the scene to serve all our members across Africa. So I want to say a big thank you to every team member, and to you who have made it to today's session. Keep being phenomenal. Keep taking action. See you at the top. My name is Anne Obize, Communications Officer for African Food Changemakers. Have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.